Now, Graham and Bernadette, Trouble at Mill, they got in touch and said, listen to our songs, and I thought I'd be delighted to. And I was going to put a couple of them into last week's show, never got a chance to do it. I am making up for that in this programme. This is Trouble at Mill and Proverbial Paradigm.
In our proverbial paradigm.
Brilliant. Proverbial Paradigm. You might think, well, all they've done is just sling together all those proverbial sayings. All I can say to you is you try doing that and see how far you get. Graham and Bernadette, Trouble at Mill. More from them a bit later and some contact details. I am, of course, hoping to get Trouble at Mill for Midsummer Middlewich, but it's not up to me. I have to stress this. I don't book artists, I just make recommendations, and I'm going to make a very, very strong recommendation that we get Trouble at Mill. I'll explain why in terms of the history of the old Middlewich Folk and Boat Festival. We're nothing to do with the Middlewich Folk and Boat Festival these days because we are Midsummer Middlewich. But I was there at the beginning of absolutely brilliant. Now let me tell you why I'm intrigued and delighted by Trouble at Mill. When the Middlewich Folk and Boat Festival first started in 1990, our first ever guest was Bernard Wrigley, the Bolton Bullfrog, and the first ever concert we did, the first main concert at Middlewich Civic Hall, as it was then, it's the Victoria Hall now, was Bernard Wrigley and me, Bernard doing his songs and me doing my silly poems. Bernard said, well, I like your poems, you do the poems and I'll do the songs. So that was the first concert we ever did, the first main concert. The following year we got the Oldham Tinkers. We had a reputation for booking comedy acts and traditional Lancashire bands and singers because we knew that they'd attract an audience, not necessarily a folk audience, but people that enjoyed a good laugh. And that, to cut a long story short, is why I'm intrigued and delighted by Trouble at Mill. What will I do? Final track for this week from Trouble at Mill, and this is a song about one of the problems that afflict us all, particularly as we get a little bit older. The day they altered all the aisles in Aldi, first world problems, eh? Trouble at Mill. They do remind me a lot, and I'm sure everybody says this, of Gary and Vera Aspie, but with the added advantage of not having Gary in them. I didn't say that. Graham and Bernadette Dixon, I presume. And contact details, Trouble at Mill at BT Internet, Trouble at Mill being all one word, and the website is www.troubleatmill.com. Okay, we hope to hear more from them. We will be hearing more from them in future programmes, and we hope to see them at some point in Middlewich, hopefully during Midsummer Middlewich.